Hello everyone, B.O.B. here, and welcome back for another Minecraft tutorial. And today we will be building a honey farm. You can farm either the combs or the bottles with this, depending on what you put in the dispenser. This is a modular design, so I'm going to just teach you how to build one module, and you can build as many of those as you want. Also, there is no observers in this design, so you don't have to worry about it double firing, and you won't get any empty bottles in your collection chest. Okay, we got everything we're going to need in this chest right here. First, we're going to need a bee's nest or a hive, and these have to have bees in them. Of course, the more bees you have, the faster your farm will produce. But you just make sure there's bees inside the nest or hive before you put it in there. Also, we're going to need a chest for collection, 2 hoppers, 1 dispenser, 2 redstone comparators, 1 redstone torch, 2 redstone dust, a composter. We're going to need 6 moss blocks, or you could use grass blocks here instead. But also we will need 6 of the flowering azalea, and it does have to be the flowering ones. We're going to need 4 glass panes, 2 buckets of water, and then just some random building blocks. I'm going to use an assortment of smooth stone and glass here just so it's easy to count. But you can build it out of anything you want, really. Last, you're going to need some glass bottles if you want to collect honey bottles, or you're going to need shears if you want to collect honeycomb. You could put some of each in the dispensers, and then that way it'll just drop a random one each time. Now, a single module of this build is 4 blocks wide, 4 blocks tall, and 9 blocks long. As you can see, we got a little bit of redstone sticking out the back here. And to get started, we're going to come to the center of our build area, and you could do it on the left hand block or the right hand block. It doesn't really matter, but we want to put a chest in the ground, so we're going to go ahead and dig a hole, put that chest in there, and then dig 2 holes behind that so we can put our hoppers facing into that chest. So you want to crouch place those. Now we can go ahead and put the pillars of our structure in place. So we're going to go 3 blocks up from right beside the hoppers on both sides. And this is where our moss blocks come into play. We want to put 3 along each side of this structure. And we want to put our flowering azalea right on top of those. And again, like I said, you don't have to use moss. You could use grass blocks if you prefer, but if you got the flowering azaleas, you got the moss blocks, I'm sure. Okay, now we can go ahead and build up the back part of the structure. So we want 2 pillars, 1 on either side, just like we did up front. And we're going to go ahead and run blocks all the way across these azaleas, just like so. Now this back part I like to build up with glass. You don't have to do that. You can build it with any block you want. I like to let the light through. You could use a lighting block if you want for this purpose. But what we want to do is fill this side up with full blocks, the back of it. So we want to go 2 high, 2 wide there, and then off these top 2, we're going to come 1, 2, 1, 2, and then we need to get our dispenser, and we're going to put our dispenser on this side. It really doesn't matter what side you put it on, but that the redstone is determined by what side it's on. So we're going to put our dispenser. Oops, I didn't mean to fall down there. That was bad. Okay, here we go. We're going to put our dispenser right there. We want that facing inside the farm. Now we can go ahead and put 2 solid blocks right here. And we need to get our comparators. And now that I have my comparators, I want to pull a signal from the bee's nest, which isn't in here yet. We're going to wait until the very end to stick that in, so that way your bees don't escape in the process. But we know that it's going to be right here in front of this dispenser, so we're going to draw a signal from there. Then we want a piece of redstone dust right in front of that. We want to get our other comparator, turn around, and face that back towards the farm. And we're going to put a solid block right in front of that. And then we need a signal from a composter to feed into this comparator. So I'm going to put another glass block here. Again, doesn't have to be glass, could be anything. But I'm going to put a composter on top of that. And one thing I didn't include in the materials list is we're going to need something to compost in here. We're going to need to bring the level up a little bit. And what we want is for this composter to put off a redstone signal strength of 4. And in order to achieve this, I'll show you exactly where you need to bring the level. With whatever it is you're composting, just kind of add it slowly until you can see that rising up. And we're not quite there yet. One more. Right there is where you want it. And you can tell you're in the right spot if you can see this dark line right here and then 2 pixels of the light line beneath it. this will be a redstone signal strength of 4. And since a full beehive gives off, or nest gives off a redstone signal strength of 5, well, that's going to reverse the polarity of this comparator, and it's actually going to turn on that redstone torch, which is going to feed into this redstone dust, and that's what's going to power your dispenser. So now we just need to build a little roof onto this thing, and we don't have to bring that all the way up to the front. What we're going to do is I'll place one on there, just kind of temporarily, and then just build that to there. And then I like to build a row of solid blocks across there. You could bring that out to the front if you wanted to build it into a peak, but our panes are going to be going in right here. So if you're going to build it into a peak, you're going to end up needing more glass panes. Anyway, let's go ahead and break this away because we are going to need to access that dispenser. We'll fill that up with either glass bottles or shears whenever we're done. But let's go ahead and get our glass panes. And we're going to start off by just placing glass panes on top of each of these hoppers and then one on the side here. And then we can go ahead and put in our water. So we'll put one bucket there, one bucket there. So we got an even stream of water flowing straight to those hoppers. And then the last step is to get in your bee's nest or hive, whatever it is you're using. And then the last pane. So let me get my bee's nest. Okay, I got my bee's nest. And now when you place yours in, it's going to have bees inside it. So you're going to want to place it and then place your glass pane right away, or else your bee might escape. A way to avoid this is do it at night, and then the bee won't try and come out. I don't actually have a bee in my nest because I'm in creative mode. I'll try and spawn one in and try and not let him escape. Let's see if I can do this. Spawn him in, and nope, wrong. Well, that almost worked. There, I got him. Now, the last thing we need to do is put either our glass bottles or our shears in the dispenser. Now, if you're just after the honeycomb, one shear will do. It'll probably last a little while before you have to replace it. They tend not to break very fast in these dispensers. Now, with glass bottles, you're going to want to fill up every slot of this dispenser. Otherwise, the honey bottle, it will stay inside the dispenser. So you don't really have to craft 9 stacks. I mean, that would be probably the best way to do it, and it'd last you a really long time. But you could take a single stack and just kind of spread it out amongst all these different slots, and then just kind of keep an eye on that. If one of those slots run empty, you're going to want to refill it with empty bottles. Otherwise, like I said, honey bottles stay inside the dispenser. Lastly, there's 2 things to watch out for with this farm. One is every now and again, the honeycomb and or bottle will pop up through these blocks rather than fall down. I do believe if you were to place another block and just keep it on top of that dispenser, it would help with that issue, but it doesn't happen very often. You will get most of your stuff in the collection chest here. Another thing to watch out for is if this signal reaches its appropriate strength while you're like leaving the chunks and you unload the farm and then come back in, it might not actually trigger the dispenser. So, well, I mean, if you see this piece of redstone dust lit up at all, and like you should just break it, and then, well, I'm in creative, and then just replace it. It'll fire off that dispenser. Should fix the problem. And that's it. That completes today's Minecraft tutorial. You know, if you like this video, please remember to hit that like button. And if you're interested in seeing more from me, consider subscribing as well. I'd like to thank you all for watching and wish you all a wonderful day.